Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing this weekend?
Good.
Crappy weather, but we're going to have an exciting time today. We're going to learn lots, and I anticipate we will go straight smack bang on 12 o'clock. And if we have to, we'll stick around. I'm actually planning to go across to the plaza for a bit of a lunch, so if anyone doesn't have anything after and you want to join me for an informal chat, let's go have lunch and coffee or whatever afterwards, all right? And you can ask me as many questions as you like, because I've got nothing planned for the rest of the day. Okay, so let's just get a show of hands. Who has been at a webinar before? Absolutely everybody. Great. Who has attempted to host their own webinar? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, good. And what? Can I just ask a couple of people in the room as to the purpose of you being here today? What did you want to specifically learn? So, actually, you know what? Let's do a little bit of a quick intro and tell me about your purpose and what you'd love to learn today. Because guess what? I've got a presentation. However, if I feel that you guys need something different, I will give you exactly what you need, rather than going off on my own little agenda. Okay? Cool. Then you're okay to start. Monica, go for it.
I'm Monica.
Hi, Monica.
So I'm going to be running a mentoring program, and I'd like to use webinars as a way of people launching the mentoring program, getting people to know about it.
Right.
So I've come to, I guess, find out how to sell from webinars.
Yes.
And also finding the balance between giving lots of value but not giving too much and solving everybody's problems.
Yep.
So that they don't actually come back.
Excellent. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to write all your intentions and I'm going to try to do it all. Okay, got it. Nicola.
Hi, I'm Nicola. Hello. And I'm here today because I'd like to find out, I've run webinars before, I actually ran one last night, and I'd like to know, am I giving enough for my audience to look at? I'm giving pictures and I'm giving some word slides, but what's a good balance to be giving in terms of a presentation for a webinar?
So presentation style more.
Yeah,
right?
presentation style.
Yeah.
And also following on from what Monica said as well, the call to action.
Yeah.
I did my call to action last night. I still find that it's like a work in progress.
Yep.
So, you're thinking behind your call to action and how you go about it.
Nice. So how do you structure?
Yes.
Like what's the irresistible offer maybe?
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Babe?
I just want to learn how to run webinars and to educate people on the topics of what I do.
Yeah.
The call to action.
Yep.
How to do that in a professional way, so that people want to come back and learn more about what I do. And just get out there and for people to know who I am and what I do.
Excellent. Now, if someone's already said what you're after, you can just quickly say it because I'll have it all on the list and that means we'll be all covered off. Marina?
Oh, me. I'm Marina and I'm here for twofold. I run HeartLink and Natasha was kind enough to run this webinar for us. So, and I'm a career development coach, so it's important for us to understand how to run webinars because, number one, I want to encourage the women in my network to be able to do this and promote their products and services. And secondly, part of my career development program, we do mentoring and coaching, and we want to be able to do that over the phone because we've got people coming from all over the place.
So yours would be more the how-to?
The how-to.
Yeah, cool. Rose?
I'm Rose, I'm an author and a writing coach, and so my aim is to educate, so I like to run classes, actual online classes.
Yeah.
So the webinar is like an introduction and getting to know who I am.
Great.
Hi, I'm Leonie. I'm all of the above.
All of the above? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Dale?
Hi, I'm Dale. I'm here because the judge told me that I'm one of the first things is I want to get people to the webinar. How to advertise to get people to get
Advertising, yeah.
And then everything everyone else has said as well.
Cool. Yes, very good. Valentina.
Hello, my name is Valentina. All the above,
Yes.
plus, I'm really new, so I still have to figure out what to do and how, blah, blah, blah. But the main idea is because I'm Italian, I would like to have a business that combine Australia and Italy as well.
International. Yeah.
So, of course, webinar is, I can't fly 24 hours for a 2-hour session. And come back.
Why not?
Well, yeah.
If you charge enough.
Would you like to
Yeah, it's really tiring.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning.
Nick, you'll tell her the. Lillian? That's okay, guys. Perfect. All three of you here. Perfect. So we'll just get you organised. We'll keep going around though, and then we'll get to those guys. Okay. So would you want to run webinars in Italian?
Yes.
For an Italian audience?
Yes, well, yeah.
I just came back from Italy.
That's all your.
Yeah. Cool. Michael.
Yeah, definitely, again, all the above, as Dale said, how do I attract people and then actually get them signed up to the webinar, which is obviously really important. Thinking about also how do the webinars fit within the overall portfolio of your products and services, and do you actually have a kind of a pipeline of stages that you're taking people through? And so how does the webinar product fit within that
Nice.
bigger
Yeah.
picture, I guess?
I love it. Okay, Cleo.
Yeah, pretty much what everyone else has said.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in doing facilitation
Yeah.
and training other people as well and building my market for them.
When you say facilitation,
Yeah.
what do you mean for who?
I've got an opportunity to facilitate very, very simple steps on how to join Facebook to a very big audience.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's happening yet, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay, cool.
So I want to learn how to do it, to facilitate basic things, to put them out there to people, and teach them along the ways that they can increase their network pathways, and then to get clients from that as well. So then, the call to action and stuff, and then just doing that as well. So
Yeah, cool. Nice one. Excellent. Pina.
Thank you. Well, I have not run any webinars, so I'm very new and open to everything. So whatever
Okay.
you've got,
Bring it on.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring it on.
awesome.
Perfect. Jane?
I think all of the above, and I think in terms of what I want to, in longer term, have online membership forms where people can, get access to pre-recorded webinars and things, and pretty much systemize everything.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a sustainability consultant and I actually travel and work all over the world. So my business is global.
Yeah.
And I've just released an ebook called Meeting Sustainability Standards. And that's going to be followed up by webinars. Each of the chapters will be released and be followed up by webinars. So I've got similar issues that the same as all of you, except I also have the complications of time zones
Yeah.
and language. I'd like to see all that come through.
Okay. Cool.
Can I also add
Tab?
as well? Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Autoresponders, so say
Yes.
follow-ups after the webinars for people that missed the webinars. Do you give them a replay or would you then do another
Yeah,
webinar?
I'll do a bit of that. Perfect.
Cool.
But thanks for mentioning it.
Thank you.
Lillian, what we're doing is everyone's intention of what they want to learn out of today, because there is a structured presentation, but I'd like to cover off everyone's wants and needs around this topic. So we were just quickly introducing ourselves and stating our main purpose, and people have said lots of things which a lot of them want to hear, but we're just hearing if there's something different. How about yourself?
All right, well, I've so far run two webinars to a private, a group of people who are members of the teacher program that I run. And so I'm in very baby, early kindergarten stage with it, so, just learning how to be more efficient and effective and productive.
Attract people, all of that.
And well, that's a closed group of people who already have to be members and then they join. So now I want to also learn how to do it to the general public and make it financially viable and all the rest of it, lucrative. Yeah.
Cool, guys. Who else? Davika?
Yes, very interested. Thank you very much for running this. very interested to know how to run a webinar, how to attract your clients. And then is it something I do to educate my clients, or is it a stepping stone to getting them to sign up and make a commitment and become paying clients?
Perfect. And who was Cheryl? Cheryl, yeah.
Just, I don't know anything about webinars at all.
So learn whatever we have to give you today.
Yep.
Yeah, cool guys. All right, so just a quick summary of what all of you have said. There is a lot around how to attract and advertise and have the call to actions and irresistible offers. Also internationally, how to run them and overcome the challenges of time zone and language. Then there was the how-to. The how-to part, I'm going to do a shorter section, I think, to cover off all these other bits, which are way more important than the how to click and set up something. I might only spend 5 or 10 minutes on that, and then through the recording, which I will give you access to after I have uploaded it on an unlisted link, because some people are buying this recording because they couldn't be in the room. So I will give you guys that recording so that you can follow, and if I'm too fast in the room today, don't take notes, just watch it and then follow the steps. Is that cool? Because I think the other stuff around the marketing is way more important than the techie side of things. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So I've got it all here, and what I love when I am presenting, I'm very casual, we have lots of laughs, we can, you can interrupt me at any time. I want the questions because that's where the gold comes through, because I have a certain presentation, but why not ask me lots of different things? And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, but I'll find out, because I'm very resourceful. Okay. Okay, so has everyone given me these? Because what I want to do now is I want to ask your permission if it's okay for one person in the room to be like a case study almost, so we can do like set up a webinar for their business. But as I'm teaching you the principles, so we're doing a real life scenario. Thank you very much. Is everyone okay? If I call your name out and you're not okay with it, which I think you'd be silly not to be okay with it, because you'll have all the work done in the room. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll get started, and I'll tell you a little bit about who I am and what success I've had with webinars. All right, and then we'll do a door prize as well at the end. I always like to give stuff. All right, here we go. All right. Cheryl. Fantastic. I know a little bit about your business as well. So that's great. All right, guys, so a little bit about who I am. Let's see if I can work this. Perfect. I'm going to stand here for a second because that's going live. I started out in business 3.5 years ago, and I did that after spending 12 years in the retail industry with OPSM and Specsavers. So I used to run businesses up to $5 million turnover, and then I had my first baby. And about 10 months after that, my husband, who had a franchise in Specsavers, made a very poor decision and lost our business. And that was my defining moment, rock bottom. And I didn't know what I had to do, and it brought me to the doors of the Coaching Institute, which is where I probably went to first help myself before I could help others. And that journey has been going for 3.5 years now, and it's been amazing. It took me 5 months to get me my first paying client, and I have every year tripled my business, and I continue to do so, and I'm aiming 2014 to be my $1 million year. So well on the way to that. I have got a huge background in human behaviour and mindset, and through having completed psychology and psychophysiology degree and an NLP and all of that sort of stuff. However, everything that I have done so far in my business, I have done it because I've done the do and kind of worked it out myself. Wanted to write a book, I just went out and started doing it and kind of worked it out along the way. So I'm more of a doer rather than go and find exactly how to do this. Even with doing the webinars and things like that, yes, I gained education, but then I just did it and got better and better. Can you believe my very first webinar, I had it scripted from the word go to the last, like the, hello, my name is Natasha. It was 15 pages of notes because I was so worried I would be saying which I used to say a lot of, and maybe still do, you can tell me at the end. And I used to say a lot of, you know, and so I didn't want to do all of those things. So it was very difficult and it was very rigid and I didn't know where to look and what to do. And nowadays what I do is I facilitate webinars for the Coaching Institute. I've been doing that for a couple of years. That's something that I just do on the side because I love teaching and educating. And for my own business, I would run probably a couple of promotional webinars where I add value to people. So when someone said, how much do I give away so I don't give away too much? You can never give away too much. Okay, so forget about holding back. You know, I'm not going to hold back nothing today. It's only time that's going to restrict us in terms of how much I can give. So that's just too hard to control. And you know what? If people get that kind of stuff for free, like, you just imagine what they'll think they're going to get when they actually start working with you. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. So currently we run 4 brands. Ultimate Weight Loss, you guys have come under Ultimate Business Edge, which is create products for profit, which is all about running. This is a product, the webinar is a product. Because now what we're doing right now, we're recording it. It could be, I could do this as a webinar. So when we're talking about webinars, please think of them also as workshops because you can easily translate that content into workshop material. And I will make distinctions between when it's a workshop and a webinar so that I can tell you, we're kind of doubling up, killing 2 birds with 1 stone right here. Okay, very, very same principles, except one is online and one is offline. And obviously offline, it requires a little bit more organization. Okay, so Ultimate 48 Hour Author is really my focus, and I've been helping people now write their books in 48 hours. And I'm a published author of, now this is the 4th book that's going to come out in early 2014. So any of my books are there on the back table. Perfect, all right, wrong way. Why would you want to run webinars? Well, absolutely to gain that trust and likability from people around you and for people to see the value that you've got to offer. Because if you don't show people value, they're not going to take that next step with you. You know, if you're just sending them emails and newsletters and all that, it's not enough. It's very powerful. This is the most powerful. So when you run a workshop, it's the most powerful way to touch people and to grow a raving fan base. However, when people are international or national and you can't, this is the second best way to do it for them. You can, you're positioning yourself straight away as a credible expert. So those of you that are fairly new in business, don't expect that you're going to attract hundreds of people to your webinars in the early days. My first webinar had about 6 or 7 people there. I've sometimes had 2 people, and I'll tell you some secrets later how I pretend so no one knows how many people are on the call. Because the recording's important, because then I send a recording, and I've got this product that I can transcribe, that I can, you know, there's ways that you can pretend like there is hundreds of people there. And as time goes on, and these are the strategies that I want to teach you today, you will grow your community and tribe. And that is where people are going to start sharing your links and obviously through advertising, if you can afford to advertise through Facebook ads or Google AdWords, of course you're going to get a whole lot more new leads and people coming through. So you were saying, Kevin, you have, your business is global and fairly successful, you might have a budget that you might want to run some Facebook advertising. Only of late, in the last 6 months, I've started utilising paid advertising to get more new people and building your relationships. However, for the 3 years leading up, I've hardly paid for anything. I've just grown my business through building relationships, okay? Networking, very low cost ways. You can, you absolutely get more opportunities internationally and you get to upsell and profit from your couch. How awesome is that? Because Ninja Couch Marketing, which is the book that we wrote with Donna Brown, is all about how can you do things from your couch to promote yourself and get that exposure. And as we said, instant product creation, absolutely. You've got the video, so if you're recording your webinars, and sometimes you don't have a PowerPoint and sometimes I don't, I just kind of do a Q&A. What I do is I put something on the screen anyway so I can record it, because then you cannot upload it to YouTube. So make sure you have something on that screen and that you're actually recording the screen, because when I'm showing you how to do it, there will be an option where it'll say record the screen and play the screen so everyone can see it. Once you've done that, you can extract the audio. So when you extract the audio, You can create a CD for people to play with their cars if you want to have it in, as another product. And people are over the internet via websites like Elance and Odesk. Have you guys heard of those?
Yeah.
Kevin, have you heard of it? Okay. Elance.com, ELANCE.com, and Odesk, ODESK.com. They're outsourcing platforms where people bid for your business. So for you to hand in a recorded content for an hour might cost you $20, if not less, to have it transcribed, and it turns into an ebook. So you can instantly have a product that you can pop on your website to have people opt in and get. On one of my websites, I actually give away the 3 secrets to turning your IP into profit, IP as in intellectual property, and people get that full webinar recording link to actually go and view it, and it's a whole hour of value there for them. And that's the way they come into my sales funnel. So, who's heard of the sales funnel? Okay, so this, yeah, perfect. So these webinars of whatever shape or form or capacity you run them, they'll generally sit somewhere at the top of your sales funnel. So the top has got your free stuff and low cost stuff, and then at the bottom it's you at premium price. In about the middle level, like Monica was saying, where you guys are running paid mentoring programs and all that, where people are just as part of a membership, it will belong somewhere in the middle. So when someone was saying before about getting people, where would they be, and autoresponders and all that, your webinars will be sort of at the top of building that relationship and selling people into that next step and going through to the next levels. Does that make sense? Cool. So, all right, let's go this way. So far the result I've had, and I seriously started running webinars in the last, 18 months I've been facilitating, properly doing them for my business in the last 12 months. So back from January, we had $100,000 in sales from one webinar. Now this wasn't straight on the call, it was the follow-ups we did and everything that we did, but these people came from that one webinar and that converted into 100K. We've had clients, licensees and 48-hour authors as a result of having webinars and taking them and adding value and taking them through our sales funnel. And again, about 85K in August from just one webinar, and have built my database, by probably 1,000 this year in terms of running webinars, which is a whole lot of people that I'm now continuing to develop relationships with, and that will become one of the other things in time. So what we need to remember in business is that we need to remember that we're touching people all the time. Not in a funky sense of way, but that we're adding some value. Some of you in this room are already working with me, and if you think back on how we started working together, it wouldn't have been that one conversation we had just before we started working. It would have been a series of things. Maybe you heard me on a webinar, maybe you saw my Facebook posts, or watch some of my other videos or recordings, or maybe attended a proper webinar, and there's been probably 5 or 6 or 7 different touch points before you guys were ready to get to the point of doing business and saying, you know what, Matt's pretty cool, I'll go do this stuff. Yeah. So what we call that is the educational spectrum. Who's heard of the educational spectrum? Okay, so not too many. So we're taking people from they don't know what they don't know, and we're taking them to yes, I've got a problem, I need to research and find how to resolve that problem. And that's a whole other workshop on its own. However, that's what happens out there. Generally, our ideal target market initially are not aware of what they actually need or what they have as a problem. So we need to take them through that. Sometimes we do it on purpose. So through webinars and autoresponders, we're doing that on purpose and language it in a specific way. And other times, it just happens because you're all over the place. So Naomi, you've probably seen me all over the place. And that's how we got to start working together, because I didn't purposely take you through a campaign, but they're called campaigns, okay? Cool. Let's see if I go the right way. No. All right, so today I really want to bring you all that stuff that we talked about on the list, and definitely how to make your webinars magnetic so you do attract that large audience in time. and to give you some strategies on filling your webinars with hundreds of potential clients, and then how to. So I think I pretty much said what I planned is what was on that list, but we'll go through it. Any questions at this time? Because we're about to go into the sexy stuff. Huh? Okay, I need water. I'm thirsty. Should have gotten you to buy me a bottle, Marina.
Well, if you had
reckon
asked,
this
you would have got it.
Huh? Should be right. Is there?
Not helping me, God. She cracks the whip.
Okay. Alright, so let's teach you the format. First thing you're going to do before I show you this slide is you've got to set your date for the webinar. Now, webinars should only be planned 7 to 10 days out. Okay? Now, this is the difference between a webinar and a workshop. A workshop is 4 to 6 weeks out. A webinar is about 7 to 10 days. People want it fast, instant. Oh, this is coming up. This looks really good, and you've got to be sort of hot on the promotion and the marketing of it leading up to it. So don't leave it any more than that. Probably if you're starting out, I do 10 days. Sometimes I've done 24 to 48 hours. Get people excited, get them on the call, and bang, it's all done. Okay? That's the first step. So work backwards. We're starting with the end in mind. Yeah. All right. Next. See, I told you it was going to be the sexy stuff. So we've got the 5 secrets to magnetic webinars and how to get them filled. And first thing is you've got to have that sexy name that's going to attract them. So a lot of you listen to me about this, and I want to further explain because it took me 18 months to get this. I had a mentor, and I always had a mentor since 3 months into my journey. And Peter always used to say to me, Nat, when I'd say, okay, I'm going to sell this and da-da-da, and he goes, is that what they want or is that what they need? Okay, it's what they need. So there's a very, very big difference between what people want when it comes to your business to what people need, okay? So come on, those of you that have been on my calls and have talked to me, tell me what people want. And I'm talking in generic terms. What do people want?
Quick, easy, basics.
Solutions.
Yeah, and probably solve more sex, more health, more money.
More
sex.
more sex, more health, yeah, more time,
Yeah.
more freedom. They want a step-by-step, they want a magic bullet solution,
Yeah.
they want the quick fix. So everything that, why is this workshop today called Secrets to Running Webinars for Profit? Secrets is a hypnotic word, profit is a hypnotic word, okay? If I told you, can't even think of a non-sexy name because my head just always thinks of sexy titles. Webinars, what would be a boring?
I have to learn to do a webinar.
Learn to run your own webinars. It's probably, not too sexy because it doesn't promise you anything, okay? People want results in advance. Write that down. Results in advance. Anything that you do, workshop, opt-in on your website, webinar, it has to ooze that, when I go there, I'm going to find out their secrets and I'm going to make profit, okay? I have to sell you them. That's my marketing hat on. When you actually come in the room, you're actually going to find out there's a lot more steps and things that you've got to do, and it's not as easy to get masterful at running webinars. It's taken me 3 years. However, I can't get you in the room if I sell you that boring name, so I've got to sell you the sexy name, okay? So sell them what they want, and what they want is quick, easy, fast, step by step. So why am I calling this slide 5 Secrets to Magnetic? Magnetic is a hypnotic word. Webinars and how to get them filled. Of course you want to get them filled. You want people to come and buy your stuff, yeah? And now we're doing a countdown. So always in anything that you do in your business, any membership program, anything that you are putting together, that's why all of my branding is ultimate, because ultimate is a hypnotic word. And 48-hour author. Of course, yes, we do it in 48 hours, but the project takes 6 months to manage, and there's coordination and all that kind of stuff. So you've got to be truthful, but you also have to do a bit of play on words. So Google hypnotic phrases and Google hypnotic words, so you can have a list ready and sitting by your side to work with. Now, Cheryl, let's have a play with coming up for a sexy name for your business. Do you want to tell everyone what you do? Come on, practice your barbecue speech.
Caught me off guard.
That's how it's meant to happen.
I know. I'm the empty nester specialist. You know, when women get to that stage in their life where their children are either going off to school or they're leaving the nest, they're becoming independent, and they're left with a void in their life, leaving the nest empty. So I'm all about, I have a 12-step program called Ignite the Magic to help them find their purpose and passion in life.
Oh, you memorised that one. No, good on you. Good one. So Cheryl's got a 12-step transformational system, Ignite Magic, and she helps empty nesters. So let's see collectively as a room what you guys, let's see if you can come up with a sexy name. There's no point in me coming up with it now. Let's get you thinking of what could be, so what I would suggest her webinar would be is to entice people to come along and experience a taster of her program. So maybe step 1, okay? So then when they experience step 1, she has the opportunity to upsell them to do the full 12 steps. Because when you get to a webinar, if people have come for free and you're now all of a sudden selling them a $7,000 to $10,000 program, now I'm not saying that's not possible, it is. I don't know how to do that as yet, okay? Because I haven't been in business for 15 years and I'm not these Tony Robbins entrepreneurs who can hypnotize the shit out of you and get you to that point in an hour, okay? So I'm probably a few steps ahead of you guys, and what I have found works is, again, you're building the trust. So you invite them to something for free, and then the next step is something low cost, okay? So it might be to experience step 1, which might be 45 minutes with you. What's the value of that? It might be a couple of $100, because I will teach you that you should give away 2 bonuses. Okay, so we'll come up with a little package for the upsell, and then at that point where you have them one-on-one and you've wowed them, they'll love to do the rest of your program. Now Cheryl's program is also very sexy because we actually do work together, and her whole name, the outline of it is all written in hypnotic language. So when she shares it with people, it's what they want, okay? So let's come up to a webinar. So your people are empty nesters. What could she run? What kind of thing? Has anyone got an idea? Excuse me.
Like couple stuff, like rebonding with a couple.
Is that what what's their biggest, they're not needed?
Yes.
Yeah, they feel not needed?
Yeah, they've got no purpose or passion, they're just,
So it's not probably about the relationship with others, it's the relationship with themselves.
Fill the void, rediscover your dreams, that sort of thing.
And okay, so I'm going to talk to you about Fluffy, because I know a few of you in the room are coaches. Us as coaches, and I know I was there, we tend to, like when I say passion and purpose and love yourself, and it's all wonderful, but it's just too generic and broad. And I'm not being mean here, please. Like I'm serving you by saying, get rid of the fluff. Let's get into a solution and let's sell them results in advance. So, any other ideas?
It's about efficient with your time, something like that.
So more time, like
efficient, like so it's you're promoting and actually doing something. They've probably got a lot of time on their hands, but actually the quality of time.
Quality of time, yeah. We could be, yep. So
have a 3 easy steps to get your mojo back.
yeah, that could be, something that they want because they feel like, wow. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Well, people that are empty nesters usually they have a lack of clarity, or or they're confused because they don't know what to do next. So there's something about getting that clarity and igniting something. Because a lot of times they're just like, everything's gone, who am I and what am I going to do? Yeah. It's that period of time.
How can we say clarity in a way that we're solving a problem,
Yeah.
like they're very clear on that? Because clarity goes into the fluffy bracket.
That's right.
Yeah.
So where do they fit in? Where do they fit into themselves and society?
It's just like they've spent their time looking after their family and children
Yeah.
and maybe in a job that's just sufficing living,
That's
not
right.
really what
It's
they're
a job.
passionate about. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's filling that void.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding themselves again.
Becoming the sexy man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that goes with Jane's idea about getting your mojo back.
Reigniting your mojo for life.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like doing 7, 5 and whatever. So if you're going to do steps and stuff, use the odd numbers. 3, 5, 7, 10 and 12 work well as well. And the brain loves 7s. So always value the things that you're doing and the prices, put them at 7. You will see at the end how everything that I've done is at 7, okay? So value dot at 197 for whatever, 7, everything like that. And the brain also loves 3s, so if you can deliver. So when we said, had the previous slide, what would we do today? Had 3 different steps, okay? So remember, it's 3 and 7 are kind of the thing to go for. Okay, so could we play with, what did you say, Jane? 3 easy
3 easy steps to get your mojo back.
Yep. 3 sexy steps. Yeah, something along that. Yeah, 3 easy steps. Write that one down to get your mojo back. The next thing is let's now come up with a sexy outline. Okay, because there's one thing that we have as a title, but you will learn, bang, 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 3 to 5 benefits. Okay, 3 to 5 compelling reasons why people need to come along to this webinar. Okay. So, 3 easy steps to get your mojo back. You will learn, or you will walk away with, you can say, rediscover. So again, hypnotic words in all of this. Rediscover. You could go a little bit fluffy in one of these. Not too bad. You can go a little bit fluffy here. However, not too much. The other ones you want to be quite logical in terms of you want people to feel the solution will be tangible. Okay, so you could say the 3 secrets to finding an extra 2 hours in every day, or something like sell them time. Again, sell them time, money, freedom. Oh, yeah, that's what they want. They want to be needed. Yeah. So 3. I'm thinking right on my feet here. That's why I'm doing this, and I always do this. People who work with me know this, and then I come up with something amazing because I just gotta think it through. Come on, help me. Need it. How to? Sorry.
Finding your purpose, reigniting your purpose, or something like that.
I'll give you that as one fluffy one, but no more. Okay? No more. How to feel needed in 3 secrets to feeling needed all over again. Something along that. Because then empty nesters. And what you want to start off with is some questions. Have your children grown up and left the nest? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You want these questions, come up with 3 questions to have pain behind them. So pain, 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 then go benefits, pleasure, 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 pleasure. Okay? So Kevin, you'll tell me, because I'm very curious about your business. I always help coaches and you're a little bit different. Let's have a little bit of a play with yours as well. So what would you run a webinar on? What do your people want?
I help people with sustainability standards. Like I can see Kathy's over there. They've got a rainforest giant green frog on it. So some tea growers got to do all sorts of stuff to achieve that green growth for the environment, for
Yeah.
social, etc. And on your books and paperwork,
Yeah.
you probably see the forest stewardship logo.
Yes,
That's huge in this country.
yes.
So I help people get to that stage, and they have to go through hoops, and it's really, like for example, environmental management and all that sort of stuff, they have to go through hoops and they don't know how to do it.
So you need to teach them how to get those little things on.
So what's called meeting sustainability standards, how to avoid common, how to simple approaches to avoid common mistakes.
See, that's it. Yeah. Simple approaches to avoid common mistakes.
Because people just don't know how to do it.
Mm.
But there's probably a thing about sustainability, what it means. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people,
So,
you've got to simplify the word sustainability, which
They
has a huge umbrella at the moment.
don't care about the word sustainability.
Exactly.
yes,
They
that's
don't.
what they need.
They need it.
They want to know how to do it, so we're back engineering.
Yeah.
We're back engineering. So unless I can take it in there, I can't help them actually do the sustainability stuff.
That's right.
Because they don't understand.
No, they don't.
I think with sustainability, a lot of people don't actually want to understand it.
Yeah.
They don't.
But I mean, the market's saying that unless you've
They
got,
have to.
unless
Yeah,
you've got
they
a
do,
forest,
they don't bother to.
unless you've got a forest stewardship logo, we won't buy from you.
Yeah.
For example, and then one of the things you need in a forest stewardship logo, for example, is a disputes and stakeholder resolution procedure. Well, no one's got a clue what that means.
Yeah.
So
There's
that's,
a lot of technical stuff in what it
yeah,
does.
so I've actually written this guide with beautiful graphics and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. And that's what I've got to put through the webinar. I've got to sell each of these chapters
That's
to the
right.
webinar. I've got to get people there, and then they say disputes. That's something, we get into all sorts of trouble. Did you watch the 7:30 program
No.
with about the koalas being killed in blue goats? Yes. But that's a huge sort of, that's gone
Yeah.
completely viral. I'm dealing with that on Monday.
That's
I'm there trying to sort them, and that's all about stakeholders, how they didn't do it right, and all that sort of stuff.
Can you tell me a little bit about when people, so you want to get people to these webinars to educate them. What's the next step?
Well, using your funnel approach,
Yes.
basically, I'm trying to get them in there to see this book, which is kind of
The
unique,
book, yeah?
the book, and use the chapters, and then get them into like a membership.
Yes?
So I run a cluster group of
Mhm.
17 or 18 forest companies. I now want coffee, everything from
Mhm.
around the world. And then from that, that's where the
The work,
work comes from.
to help them get the little thing.
Yeah.
That's-
So I run a membership of $800 a year for forest companies.
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
Yep.
I've got 17 of them and another 5 or 6 big companies.
So in your case, who is your client?
Who's my client?
Yeah,
Growers.
who's the target
Who are
market?
the, who's your
Oh,
target
it's
market?
businesses. It's businesses who are faced with market-driven standards. So the consumer says we want. To be a very, very good
Uh-huh.
example, I just picked up the agency for Australia and New Zealand to run auditors for palm oil,
Mhm.
sustainable palm oil.
Yep.
That's huge because when you're at the zoo.
Is there?
And
There's
so,
big clients, they're poor
well,
ones.
what I'm doing is I'm running 7 auditors and they're going around looking at almonds and snack brands and whatever, making sure they're using the good stuff, not the bad stuff. Okay, so that's one of the things I'm doing, but all of those companies haven't got a clue how to go about it.
Do we also want to, from the webinar, so the free webinar, we want to sell them the book?
The book, the first chapter is free
Yes.
and it's called Management Planning, which
Yeah.
is one of the big risky ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then the webinar's free, so I've got 15 downloaded copies of the free book, free chapter so far around the
Yes.
world.
Cool.
And then I'll do it, like you say, 7 days out, I'll poke that and try and get more.
Yep.
And then also make the webinar free as well, whether you've got the chapter or not,
Yep.
and get people in.
Of course,
And
yeah.
then I'm waiting to hear the next bit about how they like it.
Cool.
No, but what I do with it after that, call to action and all that sort of things, because I need to get people in the funnel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we want to, yeah. So you put even your membership, and we'll talk about this later, can be the, you can package it up in a way that can appear immense value, and then the $800 seems like bugger all. Yeah, so we would need to think about that. Okay, thanks for sharing. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah.
That we- Because I think this is also a little bit different. Let's start thinking in other ways, because I know I deal with 80% coaches and then 20% other industries, but I always like to get my brain firing up when it's something completely different. Yeah. So this is when you one day are also helping. You know what will happen? You'll get to be an expert in your niche, and then you'll be business coaching people who are in that niche. That's what generally happens. And then when you start to business coach and help people, you will get other industries rather than just coaches. Yeah. So cool. So let's just recap. So sexy name in terms of what people want, to be given the opportunity to then give them what they need, to sell them what they want, give them what they need. You need to memorize this every time you are actually planning a workshop, webinar, your packages, your programs, any offering that's going to market. You've got to make it this. I learned this in my webinars through the school, and it stuck in my head, but I didn't understand it for 2 years until my mentor kept repeating it to me as well. And I can't tell you enough, this is probably worth everything that you are here today to learn, and if not more. It's just got so much, and oftentimes I pull up my own clients now, and I'll say, Leonie, is that what they want, or is that what they need? And it just happens, the ripple effect. Okay, and we'll come back to that again. So let's talk about marketing. Okay, marketing, and then I'm going to talk to you, while we're talking about this initial stage of marketing, I also want to bring in here what you would do after a webinar, so we just kind of do it all in one hit. There's a few different ways, offline and online marketing. When you're new in business, like maybe half of the room here is, we would get a lot more traction in our business offline when we're networking and meeting people and letting them know that this is coming up, and then perhaps sending them a follow-up email and inviting them along to a webinar. So offline marketing doesn't mean you can't promote your webinars when you go to an event. You know, you stand up and you do your 60 seconds, and then you go, oh, coming up next Wednesday, I've got this webinar, sexy name, and I'd love for you guys to come along. Let me know if you want me to send you the link. It's completely free. And then if people say, yeah, just send them the link and get them to register. Email marketing is very, very important. However, if you're new in business, let's show of hands. I want to see. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's got a database? Very good. Almost. All right. Do you know, the guys who didn't put their hands up, do you know what a database is? Good. Okay, but you've been naughty. All right. So from the very beginning, when I started out in business, I had my Yahoo email, and I had all my address book there, and those are my family, friends, and maybe some people that I knew. And what I did is I put that into a spreadsheet. This is the simplest way to start out, and then I sent an email out to all of them saying, hey guys, this is what I'm doing right now. I'd like to let you know I'm going to send out a newsletter every fortnight. If you don't want to be part of this, please just send me an email back saying unsubscribe or whatever, so I'm not bugging you. And otherwise, I look forward to keeping in touch. That's as simple and as casual as that. And that became the start of my database. Eventually, I migrated all of this into programs such as there's MailChimp, SendPepper, tell me if you haven't heard of these things, Constant Contact, and now next year I'm planning to go into Infusionsoft. Now, Infusionsoft is only a platform that I would recommend to people who are making more than $250,000 a year in their business, okay? Because it's expensive. It costs about $230 a month, and there's a $2,000 joining fee. However, SendPepper, who I've been using so far, it's $30 a month, and that has the capability of producing autoresponders and managing a database and putting people in different groups and all that kind of stuff. Infusionsoft is more expensive because they actually build marketing campaigns for you. Okay, they will do a campaign. They'll send you a list of questions, and they go, "Who's your target market? What's their problem?" You answer the questions, and then they build this whole marketing campaign, and then people get stuff sent out. So it's very sophisticated. It's awesome. Donna, my partner in the Ninja Business Chicks, is utilising that in her business. And I've told her, you got to teach me how to use it so I can join up next year and stuff. So, but it would take time. I wouldn't invest in it until you get to about 250K turnover, okay? Other ones, $30, or MailChimp is free up to, I think, 1,000, how many?
I think it's 2,000, but there's
2,000
no
contacts, but there's no autoresponders. So when you get the free version of MailChimp, there's no autoresponders until you start paying, but there is templated newsletters and things like that you can do. So now, why I was talking about a database is because the money is in the list. So now my list is into the thousands because I just built it from networking when I met people, connected with them, did the follow-up, all that kind of stuff. Through my website, like you said, people have opted in to get your book, and it just grows. And then what I do is I tag people, because I've got 4 brands. I'm not going to market to the 4. One's weight loss and one is 48-hour author and all that stuff. I've got different tags for different groups of people, but I'm still using the same platform, okay? So very important, because what you want to do is when a webinar is leading up, you want to send people 3 to 4 emails that would be the target market for that webinar leading up to it. And you would set them up in an autoresponder sequence, so you'll schedule them. When you write emails nowadays, it's very important to be human and not this corporate, kind of talk. Now, I don't know, Kevin, maybe yours means to be a bit more official, or could you be more human in your industry as well? Industries, towards the industries, yeah.
There's dozens of different types. There's lots of big ones. I mean, Kimberly Clark is a client.
Yeah.
And then I've got a kid for that.
Yeah.
Is there no reason why you can't be human to them anyway?
Cash.
Yeah.
Hey, how you going? Maybe add a bit of value, maybe a tip into your email, and then say we've got this awesome presentation, completely free on Sexy Name. I'd love to have you there. In your email, you need to have your link to your webinar at least 3 times. Whether you're going to highlight a word, whether you're going to go PS. Maybe you're going to do the PS. Make sure you do a PS. It's very important. Okay, sometimes PPS and PPS. You've seen those come through. They work because that's what the big marketers do out there. Okay, so 3 times the link into your email, and so
you send one email out, 3 to 4 emails. That each email has the link.
3 links, three times for them to click across so they can register, because people need to register for a webinar.
Okay, so there's 3 to 4 emails leading up to
Yes.
each of the links.
So let's say it's 10 days out. You do 10 days out, you do 7, you'd probably then do 3 and 24 hours beforehand. Okay, that's how it would structure. So it gets more intense the closer you get to the point of running the webinar. On social media, you're doing it even 2 minutes before the call. You've already logged in and go, come on, 2 minutes to go. Okay, and I'll talk to you about social media in a second. After the webinar, okay, so this is, I'm just going to bring, because this is all to do with the emails with Nicola, what you were asking, is 3 emails following the webinar, and you're going to look for excuses why you should email people, okay? So number 1 excuse will be to send the recording, okay? Hey guys, for those of you who missed it, and there's a way to actually extract everyone that registered from the software, and then to pop the email to everyone that's registered. Of course, you're going to go on social media once you've uploaded it to YouTube and say, oh, everyone who missed it, here's a recording on your fan page and wherever, okay? Then the second email could be, I forgot to send you something. I thought you might find this interesting, and attach a little, maybe a chapter. You know what I mean? Can be a thing that you could send them out. And then, and you could even pretend like, oh, I had so many requests lately around this particular thing, or oops, my email system was failed to send, and people told me they missed it, so I'm sending it again. Okay, so then look for an excuse. This is all marketing, it's not actually real. Okay? Yeah. You've seen it. You've seen it?
Yeah.
So that it's, in case you thought it was real, it's not. Facebook, social media. So let's show of hands who uses social media. Who thinks they're great at social media? What?
of average.
We need to come back in this room so we can do social media. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. I'm not going to talk social media because that's not what today is about. But your event for your webinar can be posted on social media. So on Facebook. LinkedIn no longer has events. They used to. Did you want to say something?
I was going to ask, would you actually create it as an event on?
As an event
Yeah.
on social media,
Yeah.
and again 3 times in the event description you would put your registration link.
Okay.
Very important with webinars. Once you've posted the event, that you go into the event every single day, and on the last couple of days, probably 2 or 3 times a day, that you keep saying to people, oh, I can't wait, 48 hours to go, or 24 hours, or 10 minutes to go, or whatever it is. Because every time you post in that event, a notification will come up for the person, and they'll go, Natasha Denman has posted in this event. And then people go and click and look at it, oh yes, I was going to go along to that, but I forgot. This is why we're sending 3 or 4 emails.
Yeah.
We're sending out 3 or 4 emails because people will never take action. Most people, 99% of people won't take an action, or they won't even probably open your email perhaps. They need to see it 4 or 5 times in order to, every time I post something, the registrations go up by 4 or 5. Now, the thing is, you need to have a good database through your social media. So if you've only got 20 friends, realistically, you're not going to get a lot of people there. And what you might need to consider is Facebook advertising, okay? So the whole point, and actually, you know what I'll send you guys, is a webinar link where I did a webinar on social media. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that way you need to learn all the secrets of social media, webinar, and also a live presentation that I've done at my networking event that I run once at Doncaster every month. I did a presentation there on social media and I did a webinar on that. So I'll send you those 2 links in an email. It won't be an excuse, it'll just be.
Are you sure?
I promise.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
And can I ask, LinkedIn, and can you create an event on there as well?
No longer.
Okay.
You used to. However, I would suggest you inbox your contacts
Right.
a couple of times. Not too
Okay.
much. Don't
Yeah,
send too
yeah,
many inboxes. But I know when Stuart does it, Stuart manages my, Stuart's my husband. He manages my social media stuff. I'll stand here for a little bit. Balance the room out. He will send them a couple of invites. And like also very casual, friendly. And I always have my numbers go up by 10 or 20 from there as well. So definitely you want to be sending a LinkedIn inbox.
So you do that first. Would you also post it on your homepage on LinkedIn as well, or only do the inbox?
Oh yes,
And do it on
absolutely.
your homepage
Yeah, on
as
your
well?
as a news feed.
Yes,
yeah,
on
absolutely.
LinkedIn.
I would be doing that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Explain what inbox is.
Inbox is a private message you send people. On LinkedIn, you can only pick 50 connections
Right.
to send a private message to. So you will need to do it a few times, cut and paste it and send it out. Because I've got, 1,500 connections. And sometimes I don't want certain people to get it. So I tell people what are the 20 or 30 people I never want to send a message to, and he avoids those people. So, yeah. Okay. So, Twitter, if your social media is integrated, then what will happen is when you post on one of the others, it'll go through on Twitter. You might like to do a YouTube video. Hey, this webinar is coming up. Go below and register yourself. So a quick 1 to 2 minute YouTube video, as Nick is taking it right now. Are you?
Yeah.
And it will be posted up on social media later on. You say, hey, we did this. You want to buy the recording of the webinar? You want it? Okay. Stop it. Okay. Google AdWords and Facebook ads are obviously paid advertising. I'm going off to Sydney end of December and Brisbane, and I've filled up those workshops there with people that follow me. However, what's happened is I've reached a point and now I'm not getting any more people, and I'm like wanting to get the rooms with 20 each. And I've got about 7 or 8 to go in Sydney and about 10 to go in Brizzy. So what I've done is created a Facebook ad that promotes my event. And I'm spending about $120 over the next 8 days, and I've had about 4 or 5 people click going. But now my whole homework is to get these people to properly register, because if they click going on your event, it doesn't mean they're properly registered. So I've kept having to share the sticky tickets link for today's event to keep saying to people, hey, make sure you're properly registered so you don't miss out. So really, realistically, we've got a full room. I don't think we could have fitted anyone more. 20 is kind of the limit of this room, which, yeah. So, yes, yeah.
Facebook ads, does that go to everyone on Facebook or?
No, you actually select people, so you want males, females, do you want what age group, where are they? It's really cool. So I only selected Sydney and Brisbane, and I selected anyone between 35 and 60, and then you select your keywords. You know, write a book, product creation, coaching, training, facilitating, and you're aiming to get about a 220,000 people exposure. Okay, so you want to narrow it down. So you'll see as you keep selecting your criteria, those numbers will go up or down. And I always aim to have about 200,000 people that an ad would go out to. Too many and you're just trying to be everything to everyone. Too little is obviously you may not get people to it.
So I'd be looking at businesses, not individuals.
Yes.
So I'd select businesses' Facebook pages.
I don't know if you can do that. So you're
AdWords, which is business owners.
business owners?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
You
would
can't select business. Oh, you can do, maybe there's in place which is industry or occupation, you can select. You can come.
Does you use LinkedIn for what you do?
I think so.
LinkedIn has got all your corporates, all your businesses.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Huge.
LinkedIn for yourself, I would
LinkedIn
say
is
much
where I
better.
would go.
And actually, Kevin, there
Much
is
more.
LinkedIn advertising. There is LinkedIn advertising. Yeah.
there
I
is.
would look, trial both. You got to test and measure, guys. Everything is testing and measuring.
Massive.
Like realistically, but I would say Kevin's market would definitely be on LinkedIn. Yeah, and your LinkedIn ad, and it's a similar kind of setup.
$130 or probably $4,000.
Look, start out with a small amount just to see what happens, because you'll get what is it called? Like your numbers, who's viewed it, how many people have clicked, and all that kind of stuff, and just see how it progresses. And yes,
Oh, sorry, can you just finish? No.
yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm saying. Just how it progresses, test and measure.
I was just going to ask you, when you're saying you're looking at trying to get 200,000 exposures, but how many people were you looking to sign up as a result of that 200,000?
You don't know.
Don't know.
You really don't know. You next time around, you might want to change the name of your webinar. Your little picture is very important. So you know how there's a little picture you have to select to go in line with your ad. Make sure it's bright and sparkly, it catches people's eyes. And your headline is super important. Like what mine would be is, do you want to write a book in 48 hours? It stops people in their tracks. So you've got to stop people in their tracks. What do they want? So it has to be a sexy headline. You've only got so little in terms to grab someone's attention, and a really bright picture. Where is the toilet here?
One there.
Oh, okay, because I never told you that. I don't even know myself. Okay, we're about 15 minutes from break. I want to break at 10:45, and
That's in half an hour.
huh?
That's in half an hour.
No, we'll break at 10:30 actually, because that's halfway through. We'll do 10 minutes and then we'll go through, because I want to talk more. I think there's a lot more value than worrying about having too big a break. We'll talk about that afterwards, yeah? Cool. All right.
Nat, sorry, can
Yes.
I just ask you quickly how much you said you spent on your recent campaign?
$120 over
$120.
8 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't always spend more than
When
that.
I've done them, I just spend $10 a day.
You can, yeah.
$10 a
Yeah.
day.
And the amount that you spend, does that depict the number of people you can reach?
No,
Oh, it
no,
doesn't, okay.
it'll cut off once you've reached your maximum.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it
if
just
you
cuts
get
off
the
at
people
$10,
who-
just cuts off.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah, so you can pick even from $5 or $10
Yeah,
a
$5,
day.
$10 a day.
Yeah.
So it just runs until you get the number of clicks, and then it cuts off, and then if you do it like for 7 days, then it'll tick over on the next day.
Oh, right, okay, cool, thank you.
Mm. Yeah. what I want to do is, I'm just trying to plan this. I'm going to get through all the secrets before our break, and then we're going to, afterwards, we do the how, and then I want to leave a lot of time for us to make sure we go through all the other things. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, I just did stuff on the spot. This is your question, Nicola, is how to structure your webinars. And this is the way that I've learned how to do workshops. And I actually use this system for everything. When I write my books, when I'm presenting my webinars, when I'm doing my workshops. So for those of you that are students where I studied, it's a format system, and that is talking about the why or the benefits first, then going through and talking about the what, okay? And I'll go into this a bit more. Then showing the how, so how to do this, so which is the bulk of the presentation. We're right now smack bang into the how, okay? And then we stop and we'll go, is there any questions, Q&A, what if, okay? So different people belong in these different categories. So I'm definitely a how person. Don't tell me what the benefits are. If I think it's already good, just tell me how to do it and I'm going to do it. You know, I hate what, and the whole thing around selling actually, guys, and is actually to do more of the why and the what. So what you'll see is a lot of big hot shot entrepreneurs do. They'll build the why and build the why and build the why. For 80% of the presentation, they'll give you the what. And then they'll give you 5 minutes of the how, and then they'll do an upsell. So yes, there's that way of doing it. I'm not that type of personality. Actually, because I'm a how person, I give how. Okay? Maybe that does me disservice in my business, and perhaps I give away too much. But that's the way I am. Look, it's working for me. And maybe I would have been further ahead if I sold a lot more why. However, this is what I'm saying to you is that if you're worried about giving away too much, or perhaps you want to test out what other people who are having big conversions do, then just do a lot of why. So think back to the start of today. What did we talk about? Why should you run webinars? Yes? Then we talked about, well, obviously, the what section is a definition. It's like, what is a webinar? And you guys already knew, so I didn't have to define it for you. You've already been on one. And then we've gone into the how. So this makes your presentation flow and makes it really easy to structure. And every single PowerPoint I have on the computer is why, what, how, what is. Even all my books, when I start talking about a certain chapter, I go, what are the benefits behind you reading this chapter? Okay? You got to, because in order for people to listen to you and want to find out what's next, they need to have that reason, compelling reason why they need to listen. Okay? So the what is just the definition of what you're about to teach them. Actually, our what section was what we'll cover today, those 3 top points. And then we've gone into the how, and then we stop every now and again and we do Q&A. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. If I go into more detail, I'll spin your head out. You don't need more detail than this. I did a 4-day course on this, and I've walked away just why, how, and just that's all I do over and over again. I don't try to overcomplicate it. With me, it's like, how can I keep it as simple as possible and just put my own flavour into it? Yeah? Other people have different ways of structuring their presentations. Like some do past, present, future. Like they take people through that. But I've just mastered this, and this is what I would teach. Is there anyone that does it differently? No? You don't have any particular system? So yeah, it's very easy. Okay. So, get organised. This is a little bit, I wanted to mix up workshops and webinars here because I think being organised for both is super important, even if not so more for workshops. I mean, to get this happening today, it took a lot of coordination and planning and you know, the packing and making sure that everything's taken care of, and a lot of checklists, and I have a whole suitcase that I had to fill up with all my bits and pieces. If you like, I can email you a checklist for a workshop. Would that be helpful? Yes, everyone loves the checklist. I pulled it out myself last night. And basically from the moment someone walks into your webinar or your workshop, you're selling yourself. So if you're starting a webinar 5 minutes late, no. you need to be on there 10 to 15 minutes before the webinar starts. You don't actually start the broadcast. The broadcast starts on the dot. Okay? So don't start the broadcast earlier, and don't start it late. So you want to be there, make sure everything's working at your end. You don't want to be jumping on 3 minutes beforehand and then something in the system's not right, because you want to have that 15 minutes to play with a different computer or whatever it is. Same thing with your workshop. We got here at 8:30. Like I had Nick helping me crew, because I had no idea what venue I was coming into, and we actually had to reshuffle. You should have seen this room when we walked in. It was a massive tables, chairs everywhere, you know, and I had to set up all my bits and pieces to make sure everything worked. So when you guys came, I could be relaxed. You need to be relaxed and take your time. Before you start a webinar, this is what works for me. I'll close my eyes and imagine myself speaking fluently and having fun and laughing. I always make sure I smile on my webinars, okay? So they can hear that I'm smiling at the other end. Okay, so smile on your webinars. I visualize myself, and then I take 2 or 3 deep breaths from my diaphragm to reduce the stress. You know, like if you do that, straight away you're stressed. You know, but if you actually breathe through your tummy, so make your tummy go in and out, and it actually relaxes your whole system. I do the same thing before workshops as well. So I was doing it a bit this morning. I knew that I would be hectic when I got here, but just before I got out of bed, I did it before I started my day. And I also imagine you guys being interactive and smiling at me and having a few laughs and all that. And I'm kind of putting the intention out there of what's going to happen, and it's going to be lots of fun. Very important, you know, what you focus on is what you'll get, and that's what I do. So this is something that I always say to people, and I actually have changed this. It used to be everything is hard before it becomes easy, and I've just changed it to a better word. Everything is awkward before it becomes easy. It is awkward. And I'm going to give you some secrets of how to get people to interact with you when they're not interacting, and how to pretend like there's hundreds of people when there's none. Okay? So that's very, very important. So everything you do, from the moment you step in, step out, people are seeing you, it's marketing. So only when you're in your house and no one's watching you, that you can be a disaster. Okay? You've got to manage your state. Okay? You've got to manage your state. Sometimes I really can't be stuck doing webinars and workshops. And however, I rock up and no one can tell I've had a bad day or something's going on. You know, you got to put the perception out there. Same as social media. People have to perceive you as the way you want to be seen, because they're buying you at the end of the day. Don't they? People buy people. They're not buying a solution. They're buying who you have become for the results that you have. So recently when I was in Europe traveling for 5 weeks, there was photos every day all over it, because I'm selling lifestyle. Not selling writing a book in 48 hours. Yeah, that's writing a book in 48 hours. That's great. It's fantastic. But at the end of the day, they're going to come and spend the weekend with me because they're inspired and they want to achieve the lifestyle that we have. Yeah? Okay. Test and measure. Okay, so let's talk about here I want to spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about the upsell. So this is where we want to sell them to the next point. And let's have a play with Cheryl's thing again. So with the upsell, as I said, you could choose to upsell a $10,000 program, but the smarter thing to do when you're not as experienced as maybe you don't convert as well, or you're new in business and not as confident, it's a lot easier to sell a smaller product or package and then get them through the next level next time, okay? So with Cheryl, you could sell them the first step of your program. Can you tell me what your first step was called? Can't remember. No, okay. That's okay. That's okay. I don't even remember all my 12 steps or some of my programs. Let's say design your ideal future is step 1. Okay? Maybe, yeah. Design your ideal future. Customize 45 minutes with me, you and the person. Valued at $197. Bonus 1 could be an ebook that Cheryl has written. Sexy Name ebook, valued at $27. And bonus number 2 could be, what else could we sell them? Give them. Maybe you have done a recording of something, a workshop that you have done, just like I gave you guys, oh, look, bonuses. Well, they are bonuses, they're real. So bonus to a past webinar, let's say you've done on a slightly different topic. So you've got, so nothing's actually costing you except your 45 minutes, and that total value could be, say, $247, if not more, because the recording of content can be valued a lot more. So let's say it's $397 for everything. You could sell that, Cheryl, and you can significantly reduce the price down to, say, $47, okay? And you give them limitations, so to the first 7 that email me right now, so that's the law of scarcity, okay? And then you, and maybe for the first 3, you'll get it at another $10 cheaper for 37. Or what did it say? 47 to 37. Yeah. So, and then you, obviously everyone that gets back to you, you're going to take them, okay? You're going to take them. So what happens then is you send that follow-up email 24 hours, the first email after the webinar. And for those of you that missed it, I've opened up the offer at the end of the call for another 3 people. We've already had the others taken. So I'll give the opportunity to 3 more to take up the end, and then that's it. And then you will send another couple of emails, maybe with a gift or something additional that you've been inundated by others, requests. Okay? So think about in your own businesses, how can you package up something, and obviously if you guys are trying to grow your one-on-one or to get more clients, always get people to start talking to you, okay? Because that's where your relationship building happens. Okay? It was Leonie and I that, how did we talk? You took up something that I put up on Facebook. It was like a 27 or something.
Oh, yeah.
We talked. It was not like, and you know what I do now, guys? I didn't actually sell anything. I didn't sell you anything in the end. We just talked. We just talked. I gave my stacks of value. See you later. Keep in touch. You know what I want you to get to? Which point? I want you to get to the point where the person's going, how can I work with you? Okay? They're coming to you. So I no longer sell myself. I used to, would you like to find out how we can work together? All that kind of stuff. No longer. It's just people who come to me, and once they come to me, the deal's done. It's so you want to get to them to that point.
You upsell, you do that in the webinar.
At the webinar.
At the
end.
At the end, okay.
Yes. And you will see my special offer at the end of today. I'm giving you all there's no secret, and I really, and hang on, I've got the best thing here, all right? Be committed, but not attached to the outcome. Write that down. Be committed, but not attached to the outcome. So committed to get a yes or a no, but not attached to whatever. You know what I mean? If it's a no, get on with it. It's a numbers game. It's going to happen. But be committed to get that yes or a no from people. So when I have a conversation with someone, the American, I signed up a licensee into my Ultimate Weight Loss business 3 weeks ago from US, first one international. Yay. And I had New Zealand the other day. It wasn't a licensee, but I actually coached someone in New Zealand. And I said to the lady on the phone, we were on Skype, and I said, I'm committed to getting a yes or no from you. Please don't, I said to her, do not tease me, because I actually was talking to her like this because I felt we had rapport. Because I had been speaking for 9 months to people overseas, and they teased me and said they'd come aboard and they didn't, and it was just like no, or maybe, or whatever. And I said to her, for 9 months I've had conversations. I was truthful with her. And I said, give me a yes or no. You don't have to do it now. You can go sleep on it, give me a yes or no. But within 3 days I want a yes or a no. I said, I'm not attached to what's going to come out, because now I'm over all those 9 months of having been teased. And she said on the call, yeah, you have my yes. And that's all right. And she handed in all her paperwork, and that's how it happened. So very important with you guys to think about that in your business. That's very important. Oh, and another good one. A confused mind will always say no. A use mine, we'll always say no. So keep it simple, stupid. Okay?
Sweetheart.
What's that?
It's keep it simple, sweetheart.
Sweetheart. And yeah, so remember that, because the more complicated, the more you need to talk about something and justify, the more they're going to say no. Yeah. All right, let's go. They're my top 3 insider tips. These are the things you do, and then we're going to have a break, 10 minutes, come back, do housing, and do a lot of informal questions and things like that, because it's important. All right. I feel sneaky here. Have 10 questions addressing objections and giving more information ready with names when you lack interaction. So you have, what would people, so for me, if it's money, it's an issue for people, which most of the time is money or time and things like that. I would structure a question in my webinar that Sarah is asking. I don't know who Sarah is. But I will go, this is the question. Now, I don't have to do that a lot nowadays. I have a lot of interaction on my webinars, but when you're early on, you got to do that, okay? So that other people think, oh, they're talking, they're interested, you know? And so have 10 questions lined up, because then when you ask those questions of yourself, you'll keep talking and there'll be no uncomfortable silence. So address objections people will have, okay? Number 2 is have 5 cool feedback comments to read out as social proof to others that you're doing a fab job and people are loving it. Even there is one person that will pretend there's thousands or hundreds. So you're like, oh, I always love your webinars. You deliver so much value. Oh, thanks, Julie. That's fantastic. You know, you need to. Seriously, it's true. It's true. These are all the secrets. You came for secrets?
Yeah.
All right. So this is social proof that other people think you're amazing. Okay. Again, in the early days you may not get it, and nowadays I don't have to pretend it happens. You know, if you keep saying it, it is going to start happening. Same thing as, you know, that pre-visualization. You keep doing it. So from, you know how long I've been talking about $1 million a year, probably 3 or 4 months now. I keep saying it, even before I made a 6-figure income business, I kept saying it, I'm running a 6-figure income business, I'm running a 6-figure income business, and then now I'm going 7 figures, and I'm not there yet, but I will get there, yeah? So keep saying it. And,
But you know who did that? Peter Alexander.
who's Peter? Oh,
Peter Alexander Pajamas.
about?
He did exactly that. He used to write, when he first started, he used to answer the phone as being this department, then he answered the phone, then this other department. But he's really around one table at home, and go home, this is the the whatever department, this is the other department, it's always him. Because you had to make out that he was bigger. And then he would write, oh, they were beautiful pajamas, they were really, really good. And he would write all these things, you know. And he did exactly that. He's
And
got
in my
fabulous
goals, about 18 months ago when I did this one goal around me speaking, because I didn't speak so much, I said people would come up to me and say, you're inspirational. And about 4 months later, I had someone come up. Now, this time around, imagine that people in Sydney and Brisbane will say to me, you have changed my life and my business. And actually I say in quote marks that this is going to happen, and it does. So the last one is when you have your offer, let others know that inquiries are coming in, even if they're not, okay? Because if others are buying, so should I, is human nature, okay? Use the laws of marketing. So that, you know, if others are doing it, this must be valuable, I should do it too. And I'll say, oh, here's another SMS, yeah, I'll talk to you later, Mary or whatever it is, and let them know that that inquiries are coming through even if there's no one there, okay? It works, trust me, just do it. Just do it even if you suck. All right, so we've reached the point of when we have a break. So any last questions before we have a few minutes? Has this stuff been cool?
Yeah.
Good, very good. I want good feedback. You know, you're going to do feedback forms. You're going to model everything that I have done here today for your own workshops. So you better have been observing, okay? And I'm also going to ask you for a testimonial, okay? So everything.